Okay, so welcome everybody to our Data Leadership Programme information session. This is a webinar, so we, the panelists, can't see you, but we can see that you're here. We've got a chat function on the Zoom call, and we've also got a Q&A function to post questions in there. We are recording, I think, Jacqueline, is that right? Yeah, so we're recording the webinar. And I think we will just get started, if that's all right. Can you move on a slide, please, Jacqueline? So, well, sorry, I'll introduce myself first. I am Anna Ashton-Scott, and I'm the Programme Manager for Professional Development here at the Data Lab. I've got a couple of my team on the call with us today, Jacqueline, who's managing the slides, and Hannah, who is our project manager, and they are responsible for delivering this programme for us. We've also got Sandra Ripley from our business development team on the call, and we've got Craig Patterson and Marjorie McConnell, who are the course leaders, and you'll hear a little bit more from them shortly. So our kind of rough agenda for today, so sorry, just back one again, Jacqueline, I've not memorised it. We'll just do, I'll just take you through a little introduction about the Data Lab and the programme. We'll go into a programme overview, so you get a flavour of what we will be delivering for this autumn cohort. We'll give you some key dates for your diaries if you would be attending the course, and then to enrol, and we'll do a Q&A at the end. But if while any of the speakers are talking, something comes up and you'd like an answer to it straight away, then do just post in the Q&A function, and we'll try and answer that as we go. Okay, thank you, Jacqueline. Can we move on? So for those of you who don't know us, the Data Lab is Scotland's Innovation Centre for Data and AI, and our mission is to help Scotland maximise values from data and lead the world to a data-powered future. We know that in today's digital world, every organisation generates and gathers data, and this means that every organisation has the potential to innovate with data, regardless of their size or sector. Next slide, please, Jacqueline. So our Data Leaders programme is designed to build a community of data leaders who are equipped with the skills and knowledge to drive value from data, leading to positive outcomes for their organisations and for the broader economy. We want to support people on their journey to becoming a data leader within their organisations, and through the programme we hope to challenge preconceptions of the opportunities for data and AI and what these are for your organisation, and we want to build a close group able to support each other through this journey and beyond. On completion of the programme, participants will become part of our wider Data Lab community and will gain a digital badge like the ones that you see here in the corner of the screen. So our programme, our autumn programme, is a blended learning experience. So that means we're delivering both in-person and online sessions. This year we're using the fabulous Scotsman Hotel in Edinburgh for the in-person sessions. And online we have a learning management platform, Canvas, which will help to support your learning through sharing resources with set pre-reading and other work, and help you connect with each other. So we have 4 full-day immersive events and 4 online events. And I think Marjorie and Craig are going to be talking you through them in a little bit. The programme takes place September to December this year. We'll give you some key dates later on. And it's for leaders and senior staff in organisations who play an influential strategic role. So those organisations could be large firms, they could be SMEs. It's for people with high level responsibility, and also people who have maybe come from a more technical background, but who are now tasked with building a data team, delivering change and leveraging those opportunities. We work across sectors, so we've had participants from private sector, public sector, and the third sector on our cohorts previously. And this year we expect around 30 participants. So it's a small enough group for you to really kind of network and build and great relationships with each other, and feel part of a cohort. Next slide, please. And so I'm going to hand over to Craig and Marjorie just now, who are going to take you through the programme and give you a sense of what we'll be covering.
Thank you, Anna. First of all, I think there's a mistake on that slide. That looks like my younger brother that you've got on there. So I need to get a more up-to-date photograph of me on there. My name's Craig Patterson. I'm an associate with the Data Lab. I've been working on and off with the Data Lab for about 6 years now. So I've helped develop a number of courses and things that we have done together. This course is different because it's a programme and we're bringing in lots of guest speakers. So I'm pulling on my experience of going through digital transformations within financial services, my experience of consultancy I've done as well outside of the Data Lab. And I've just started a new business, which is a management learning business. So I'll be pulling in some of those things as well. So I'm looking to see how we can pull these different elements together to create a unique experience for yourself. I'm going to hand over to Marjorie to introduce herself, and because I'm mildly intimidated to be on the course with Marjorie because she is one of the smartest people that I've ever had the joy to work with. I'm going to attempt to make her blush during this. Right? So we've worked together a number of times, so it's great to be working with Marjorie again. So I'll let Marjorie introduce herself.
Hi everybody, lovely to meet you. Thanks Craig for the handover. I just realised that the tea I'm drinking on this presentation has got, I don't know if you can see this on my mug, but it says Millennium Bug. So this mug reminds me of when I first worked with Craig. So I think that would probably give you a little bit of a hint about the kind of the length of time that I've been kicking around. And I've always been doing data, but I've done that data both for individual businesses, financial services. I've also worked for a technology company. So that is, you know, full on going to the dark side. And then I managed to come back and worked for a startup. And then I've been working with Data Lab for around 3 years. So I've enjoyed working with loads of different customers. Actually, through Data Lab, I've probably had more exposure to different sectors than I ever had in my career prior to that. So I've worked with satellite builders, frigate builders, travel companies, charities and wholesalers. And I think that one of the things that's great about this course is the breadth of people that you meet and the common threads that we all get. So I guess that's me. If you want to know any more about me, look me up on LinkedIn. And yeah, looking forward to the course tremendously.
Awesome. Jacqueline, could you jump on the next slide for us, please? So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about some of the big themes that are running through the course. And if you have any questions, please drop them into the Q&A function as we go. So one of my colleagues will be looking for any questions. So don't sit on a question. The last thing we want is for you to get to the end of this and go, I didn't get a chance to ask my question, or I didn't feel it was the right time. So put those questions in and we'll answer them. If they're in context, then of what we're talking about, we'll do it now. Otherwise, we'll do it at the Q&A at the end. But don't forget to post those questions in the Q&A function. So this program is about data leadership. So the two key words are data and leadership. So really want to play up the leadership dimension of that in terms of you will be the person that is driving a significant change through your organization, either starting your data journey, going to the next step of it, or if you're quite mature, maybe moving into the AI space as well. So we'll touch on all of those things. So how do you start your journey, or how you move to the next level of maturity, or how you move into the AI space? What is your job as the leader in there? So as well as talking specifically about data, the other part of it, we'll talk about data, we'll talk about how it's used, its value, etc. But I wouldn't really be expecting most people to do this course to be the people that are hands-on with the actual technology. You're more likely to be the people that are creating the environment for other people to be successful. So as well as talking about the data and about AI, we'll talk about these data and AI from a leadership perspective. So what's that lens that we're looking at the course? It's about leadership. So what I mean by that is, let's imagine you've got all your data things sorted, right? Like, so what are you going to do about it? So we'll talk about how you create a compelling vision for your organization, how you articulate your ambition of what you're going to do, how you justify the funding of that. So as well as having the capability, how do I create a compelling view of the future that people want to come with me? So what's that vision? What's that ambition? What's that strategy? What's that funding? So these are all things that we'll explore together. Second thing, so you've just ticked, you've got your data, awesome. You've ticked, you've got your direction, awesome. Can you actually do it? So the second thing we'll talk about is your ability to execute that strategy. So what do you need to have round about you? And again, just think of that classic lens of people, technology, and IT. So people, process, and technology. So how do we bring all those things together? How do you get the right people to want to work for you? How do you know what skills you need? How do you know if that person is good at what they do, or they're just clever enough to convince you that they're good enough about what they do? So how do you work out that people skills, that process changes? How do you embed data into the DNA of your organization so it's everything you do? So that's another dimension we'll look at. So take the data, set the direction, ability to execute. So I'm not done yet, okay? So what other thing you have to create, the most important thing you have to create is that environment for success. So overused analogy, I use it all the time, a previous boss used it, and I think it's great, is there's no point having a seed unless you've got fertile ground, right? So the fertile ground is what you need to create, that environment. So where is the leadership in here? Where is the culture being created? Where is the governance that makes sure you're doing the right things in the right way? So if you think of, if you can read down the bullet points on the slide, as well as focusing on data, we'll talk about your ambition, your ability to execute, and how you as the leader create the environment for yourself, your people, and your customers to succeed. So that's the general space in there. The other thing I would add is you can't really have a conversation about data or AI these days without straying into the field of ethics. What does it mean to use data ethically and responsibly? And that again will be another theme that's running through there. So this course is for you if those things get you excited, okay? So you want to go beyond just knowing what the data can do, to set that compelling vision for the organization, to set it up for success, and to create the environment for everyone to shine. And one of the things that will be unique about this course is that you're all unique and you're all in unique positions. So what we're not coming here with is a big reveal at the end that says, here's the playbook, here's the cookie cutter for what you do. The reason we're bringing in lots of different people with lots of activities and challenges is you'll need to create the version of all this information that works for you. And I hope that gets you excited, because that's what gets me excited. So as I wrap up on this slide, I want to say, well, what gets me excited about doing this course? This is the third cohort we're going on. I am notorious for my low attention span. So why have I turned up for a third time? And the reason I'm turning up for a third time is the world is changing so quickly in this space. Even if we had the exact same speakers telling us exactly the same things as before, the environment has changed. So we're going to move into that space. So I'm excited about how you tap into your curiosity about this space, how you tap into new capabilities that you've got, and you have newfound confidence in what you're going to do. And if you look at that picture, look at all those happy, smiling, beautiful data leaders of the future. Your picture is going to be on that in the next time if you do our course, because that's what we want, confident people that are going to move forward Scotland's agenda to be on the world stage, as Anna said. So I'm going to calm down a bit. I do get overexcited. So I was going to hand over to Marjorie, who's going to dive into a little bit more detail about how the course is actually structured under those broad headings and share some of the things similar and different to me that get her excited. Marjorie.
Sure. Thank you very much, Craig. And yeah, it's great actually that you've touched on a few things which have reminded me really that one of the things about the course we ran in the spring was that it was the first time we'd had the opportunity to work in proximity with people, to come back, to learn from people, and then come back a month later and come back a month later. And the great thing about that was that because all the people were from very different backgrounds, then from the very beginning, they brought their really specific perspectives and challenges. So into month one, they brought, what's the data starting point for them, what's their starting point as a leader, and they brought that in month one. They actually brought it in a bit before month one because we invited them to make videos and to be thinking about where they were. So they brought their really specific organisation perspective and challenges, and that meant we learned about the different sectors that were there and the common themes and the different themes. Also meant that people brought in very topical things, because this is a space where there's information in the news, or there's information in a particular change in a particular industry that matters, or perhaps they had sponsors who'd sent them on the course and they knew had expectations of them, and they really wanted to just kind of bring that right up at the beginning and say, can I get something from this? So even from that first session, there was that getting to know you, but really getting to know you and talk about the specifics of the organisation. And I think for me, that's one of the great things about this course, is that that's absolutely what we want. We don't expect people to kind of sit in a room and just receive all the wisdom. It's much more about that kind of challenging conversations, taking advantage of the speakers that we'll have, because we'll have many expert speakers, and we'll talk about that shortly. So that proximity allowed people to build relationships, and I can still see, if I look on LinkedIn, where people have built those relationships and they've really prevailed, and they're working with their peers. So it's been an introduction into a space for these people. And I definitely think of it that for a leader, you always want to be thinking about yourself, you want to be thinking about those you lead, and you want to be thinking about those you influence beyond. And again, people all brought those conversations into the room, which was just wonderful. So in terms of the structure of the course, we operate with these full day summits, as we call them. We have masterclasses in there, which are a real kind of, having a guru and being able to really draw questions and learn what you want to from them. We have some deep dive insight topics. So for example, one-on-ones in month 2 is visualization storytelling. That's a topic that is going to make so much difference to influencing the people, all the stakeholders, all the people who are in your organization or beyond, because it could be external stakeholders. So some of these topics really deserve a deep dive, and we offer those deep dives. Then some of them, it's more of a kind of, here's me, here's my troubles, what have I seen happen before, and counselling almost, and mentoring. I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity to move into that space and really take the most from the people that you meet. So in month 1, that's that whole kind of setting the scene. Then in month 2, we're looking much more deeply at actually where you want to be and how you bring the stakeholders with you on your journey. That could include making sure that you've got justification for the funding and that your data's in good order. So if you've come into the data world from a technical background, you may have lots of good technical knowledge, but we're really trying to spread it beyond that world. We will touch on technology if it comes up and is of interest, and it's of great interest to me. I make no excuses about it. I used to work for a tech company, but we don't, we're not going to go deep dive into individual technologies, although you'll have a little bit of experience of how they make a difference to people. And month 3, we're really thinking about ensuring that you cover all the bases, because if you're the one in charge, then there are some things which, if you don't get them right, it's going to make things either difficult, or you're not going to release the potential that you're hoping to for your organization, or worst case, you could have regulatory or other problems around with risk. So we make sure that you are absolutely equipped to take on the responsibilities, but that you've got, again, those kind of best practice frameworks and guidance, really to be very capable and competent of doing that, and to have that confidence. Then, so that takes us into spaces like ethics and the talent. Those are the big themes, and I mean, those are really big themes at the moment across the industry, across all industries, and it's important to be able to think about your context and try and apply them and paint your own picture of these dimensions of your leadership. And then in month 4, we're talking really about how you make the change, the success, absolutely prevailing in your organization. So that's for you, it's for your team, it's for your organization. You may even have met people along the way in this course that you realize you want to collaborate with, because some of our speakers will be from organizations who can help you and can help you collaborate and achieve things. So you'll be looking beyond the organization as well. And I think for me, one of the great things both Craig and I talk about is we sit in the audience. I think one of the slides earlier showed me sitting in the audience. We sit in the audience and we also learn from the great speakers, because we do not know everything. And when you look at these topics, there are some super expert people with fantastic depth of knowledge, and also just loads of practical advice. And we just kind of sit back and immerse ourselves in some of those speakers' guidance. And as I say, you're almost able to sense the coaching and the mentoring that they're offering through these methods that we use. So that's probably quite a good time to hand over to Anna, who I think is going to touch on the people that will be much broader group whom you'll meet.
Yeah, thanks, Marjorie. So yeah, as Marjorie says, it's not just our excellent course leaders that you'll engage with during your time on the course. We bring in external experts and practitioners from industry and our broader partner community. So this is an example of the previous speakers and contributors, the people that we had on our spring programme. There was more than 20 experts altogether taking part in either workshops, masterclasses, or panels. So we're still building we're still building our speaker network for this time. So don't want to give you any spoilers, but this just kind of gives you a flavour of the types of people that we work with. And what a broad range of brilliant contributors that we have. Next slide, please. I'm just checking that there's actually a question that's come in on that last slide that you shared, Marjorie. Yeah, are you happy to take that?
Absolutely. Sorry, is it Christopher?
Yeah, it's Christopher. So he's asking about data culture, and as that's one of the biggest challenges any sector organisation appears to face, wondering why it makes sense to leave it to the last month as it must cross over all the other content.
Yeah, sure. So I hope this will help you, Christopher, in terms of that. You're right, you saw that data culture as one of the kind of the deeper dive sessions in that month 4. But there isn't a session that we don't talk about culture. I mean, it starts at the very beginning when everyone is, starting to touch on how different their organisations are, and that context, which we all know is going to prevail, and you're not going to fix it just by having a different method or a different team. So culture across the organisation does feature in almost every conversation that we have, and that opportunity for cohort contributors to bring those problems and also to ask how they impact other aspects of what we're discussing. That's always there. It's there every session if you'd like it to be. And what we really do in month 4 is we take a kind of quite a deep dive at looking at how you can understand a data culture, perhaps if you've never really encountered it before, how you can look at it, how you can look to influence it differently, the kind of techniques and tools you might want to bring into an organisation in order to address some of those challenges. So it's not that we don't talk about it until month 4, it's more that that's the time we take to really unpack it and get those hints, tips, ideas, and get that stuff out there. And depending what we've talked about before, obviously there's certain themes make a difference. So it might be about teams, and it depends a bit on the size of the organisations as well, how we address that data culture discussion, because obviously it can be very different depending where you're coming from. I hope that's helped a little bit.
Okay, thanks, Marjorie. So if we can go on to the key dates slide, great, thanks. So this is the key dates for our autumn programme. And we do ask for a commitment to all of these dates, or 80% minimum attendance in order to get the badge. That's because, as Marjorie says, no one session is independent of the other. We sort of build this programme as we go, and things that are maybe touched on early on will get more time and deliberation sort of as we go through the programme. So it's important that people are able to commit to all of these dates. In particular, we're really keen that everybody attends the very first summit, because that sort of sets the scene for the rest of the course, and it also gives everybody an opportunity to meet each other and start that kind of cohort building piece. We do a welcome call before that, so that's online, and it is on the 13th of September. Participants will get access to our online platform before that, and so we'll be sort of fully enrolled on the programme by then. The first leadership summit is the 27th of September. We then have another online forum in October before the rest, and it sort of goes like that up to the final leadership summit, which is on the 13th of September, and we'll have a graduation drinks reception and networking event after that. Each online call lasts about 90 minutes, and the aim of these is to demystify an issue related to each month's topic. Each full day summit tends to follow a format of a workshop and a masterclass, and then we have leadership circles that gives people an opportunity to do group work and fireside chats. Marjorie.
Sorry, Anna, I just thought it might be useful for people to know these are all Wednesdays.
They are all Wednesdays.
It's useful to know that if you've got a kind of a, you know, a particular working week that's in mind, and it's just might be useful to know that.
Yep. Good
Thanks.
point. So yes, they all tend to sort of follow a similar format. We'll create as many opportunities for you to network with each other, with the speakers throughout the programme. And as I say, we have a nice sort of graduation event at the end of it. Okay, we move on to the next one. So enrolment for the programme is now open. We would urge you to sign up sooner rather than later. We're closing it on the 18th of August, but we have a limited number of places to fill. So if places are filled before then we will close early. We'll confirm places as we go, but would hope to have the full cohort confirmed by the end of August at the latest. You will notice if you do go onto the enrolment form that you're asked for information about your role, the organisation, and how the programme will benefit you. This information helps us to steer and inform the content to ensure it's relevant to you and your particular set of circumstances. The cost of the course is £2,500 per participant, and there's a payment. You can either pay online through our platform or by requesting an invoice. I think there is a QR code up the top there, but we'll go, if there's any further questions, and we would be happy to take them now. And then my last slide is just a bigger QR code with the link if people want to go directly there. As to I think somebody had asked a question earlier about these slides being available afterwards, so we're happy to share them, and we can also send people, we've got a brochure and more information about the course if they need to speak to others in their organisation about this. So just drop us an email, or you can register interest in the course through the online form if you've not done that already.
So while we're waiting for questions, give people time to think, a couple of things that sprung to mind as we're talking is, as you can see in the picture, it's interactive sessions. So if anybody's thinking of rolling up on the Wednesdays with a bucket of popcorn and just sitting back and observing, that's not the type of event it is. It's very, very immersive. So we want you to share. We're never going to embarrass you. You know, this is a space where there are very few right or wrong questions about your unique situation, but we in previous cohorts, and we'll continue to do so, worked with those that are coming along to make the sessions interactive and immersive, to be challenging in a positive way. And we're going to ask you some hard questions, but not to catch you out, but just to make you look good when you go back to work. So we'll ask the hard questions in a safe environment so that you can practice the answer, you can learn from others and get the confidence. So it's quite an interactive session, and that's why I was alluding to earlier on about everything being unique. It's unique to the combination of people that are there. So we'll create something special and different each time, but it's going to be fun, but we're going to ask you hard questions, and we're going to give you some things to think about and work with individually and together.
If I can just add one thing to that, and one of the other things that we definitely bring into the conversations is, although you may be on this course as an individual from a particular organisation, you know, we also think about people and how they may want to take their careers, and if you've got, you know, learnings and things that you want to bring to that, then we're always interested in the whole person. So we're interested not just in what you're doing, but in what you want to do, and we're happy to talk about all those things as well. So it's very much about you as much as it's about the context or the circumstances that you have.
I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. I wonder, Sandra, do you want to give people a bit of information about the kind of beyond the data leadership programme and what other support people can get from the Data Lab after completing or during the programme?
Absolutely, happy to do so. Jacqueline, would you mind switching to the next slide, please? I think I know what it looks like. It's a big signpost. So as to where we can take you on your data journey and how the Data Lab can support you. So as Anna mentioned at the opening of this webinar, the Data Lab is Scotland's Innovation Centre for Data and AI. And one of the key things that we do is support you in developing the right skills that you need to embrace the opportunity that data represents. So this rather wonky signpost can direct you to the various services that we provide. At the heart of everything that we do is community. Our mission is very big and we can't do it alone. So we reach out, and we've recently launched an online community which has now got over 3,000 members, and we would be very welcoming to any of you who would like to join that. It was launched in September 2021. We have now more than, I think, 62 countries represented, and you can see that it has a lovely balance between male and female, ethnicity, and it's across the different sectors. So that's a kind of an overview of the community. But within the community, there are lots of different things that you can do. There's mentoring space, so you can offer your services to mentor somebody who's looking to embark on their data career, and similarly you can look for somebody who has more experience than you to give you that overview of how you can progress your career. There are many different forums that may relate to a specific area of interest that you have. So if it's data engineering, if it's data leadership, which will be relevant to all of you, you can join the relevant forum and then meet with your peers in there and post questions or indeed answers, because it's all about collaboration. We run events there. There's more than one event every month, and usually themed to a topic. So this month's topic is inclusivity, I think, diversity and inclusion. And last month we had a focus on banking, and the previous month it was on healthcare. So we will run discussion boards and events that relate to the various themes that we have throughout the year. So it's quite an exciting space to be. Our mission is to be the world's most impactful data community. But it's also a place that you can come to be signposted. There's a jobs board where you can post jobs that you have available. And there's also, obviously you can see what's available there in the marketplace. For some companies, we use it to help them through our partnership program to showcase what they're doing in the area of data and AI, to position themselves as an employer of choice, and I suppose to big up their profile. So hopefully you will join us. I don't think I have a QR code for this today because I don't want to confuse with the sign up to the data leaders. But yeah, so that's one area that you can come and be signposted. At the professional development part of the Data Lab, we have all sorts of offerings, both online and in person through workshops, which can help you to create and roll out data awareness in your organizations, focusing on strategy and also then on the people skills that you need to deliver that ambition. We have, again, in the skills space, we have our Data Lab Academy, which is a program that is focused on sort of your MSc level student who is embarking on their data career, and on top of what they do in their university studies, we offer a program of employability skills, ethics, responsible innovation on top of that. And the idea is to link those students going through their academic studies with the real world of work and to create that talent pipeline out into the broader marketplace. So there's lots that we do. Please get in touch. I don't want to hog the airspace, but it's been nice to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Sandra. So I'm just going to put Craig and Marjorie on the spot here and ask you, how is this course different from other data leadership courses? Why should people come on the Data Lab Data Leadership course?
Marjorie, do you want to go first? Because, you know, I don't want to steal your thunder. I'm happy to go first. I've got an answer, but being
Right,
polite.
well, I'll give a quick one. I think we just briefly touched on it, but I think the way in which we structure this, so the spread over the period of time, 4 months is quite a nice time to be considering topics, reflecting on them, possibly, you know, going and talking to other people in your organisation or other people in your network about them, and really kind of steer your own pathway through a leadership course. So I think that separation of those topics and then the coming back together, we effectively every 2 weeks, so you've got your full day session and your online session. So for me, that's actually quite, you know, it's not the intensity of 3 days, which is intense but different, and it's not kind of, you know, self-managed, just online, so that you've never quite got a chance to connect with the other people and the presenters. So I would say that aspect does allow us to tailor it a little bit to the people on the course, and that's a very visible thing to everybody else who's on the course. So, you know, it's very much getting to know each other and flagging up what matters to the group. So that, I think it's something about that balance that's perhaps unique to some courses I've come across. Over to you, Craig.
Awesome. So I'm going to link it back to 2 things that are great about the Data Lab. So I think one of the first things that's great about the Data Lab, and I'm saying this as an associate, so slightly outside looking in, it is the network that the Data Lab gives you access to. So we realise this is a fast-moving space. Our goal is not to count people that have come through courses, but it's to create the next generation of data leaders for Scotland. And to do that, we need to give you the skills and capability to not only succeed with the stuff we know now, but to succeed with the stuff that's coming that you don't know about. And one of the best ways to do that is to have a really powerful network round about you. So this course is based on giving you the skills for not only success now, but ongoing success. One of the key ways to do that is to get you networked. So you'll come back with loads of new names and addresses and links and contact details in your little black book after this. So for me, one of the most powerful things about the Data Lab doing this course is our success is your success. So it's not just about counting attendees and courses run. The second thing is we're not trying to sell you anything. Well, say a few small things. Sorry, Sandra, we'll sell you a few small things, right? But we're not trying to sell you like a big piece of software or a recurring cost or consultancy services, okay? So as I say, it goes back to we want you to be successful. So we're here to arm you with the right questions to ask to see what a good answer looks like. So for me, definitely this is a leadership course where our goal is to create the next generation of leaders. Our goal is not to sell shift units or to sell consultancy time. So our success is your success. So the network that we will introduce you to and the great people you have, and the fact that we're not trying to sell you anything other than your success going forward. So that would be my 2 things I would say that makes a Data Lab course, and particularly this one, unique.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Are you ready to sign up now, Anna?
Absolutely. Well, I was going to say we've got a couple of quotes from previous participants, which I don't, no point in moving the slide on, Jacqueline. I'll just read a couple of these out. But oh, there we go. Where it really succeeded for some is that fundamental positioning of people as a data leader. How they underestimated their data skills, but it's really about interpreting information and knowing what to do. Somebody else saying that they wouldn't have had the same awareness of the potential of data without the programme, and understanding the value in data work and the different data roles as well, which is something that we cover in the building and data teams. And some nice words about our great course and presenters. So, so yeah, if you don't, you've heard lots from us, but that's what other people say about the programme as well. So if there's no other questions, that's all that we had to share with you today. We've got we put some links in the chat, I think, so that you can find out more information. Feel free to drop us an email or just put your details onto the expression of interest form and ask for a follow-up chat. Really happy to spend some time with any of you before you decide. But I think, any last words from anybody before we close off? Okay, well.
Can I add one thing, Anna? So the sun is shining and it's fabulous and we're going into the summer, but you know, by the time September comes around, it's going to be a different story, right? The time to be thinking about, you know, self-improvement and making the most of the opportunity to be that you're at work, you're not on holiday, and add to your talents and add to your career.
Yeah, and we've got a great venue to do it in as well. So I'm really excited to be at the Scotsman Hotel this year. Okay, well, that's all from us then. Thanks very much, everybody, and we will close the webinar now.
Ciao, guys. Have a good
See
summer.
you on the course. See you on the programme.